That light is up. Yeah.
And so concludes our plans for world domination. Well done, gentlemen.
Yes, good. I'm glad that got recorded.
Excellent.
Yes, there's no live streaming mess ups with the world domination plans. Everyone is totally well aware of what they have to do down to the smallest detail. Oh, hi.
Oh, yes. Hello.
Yes, hello. Hi. Welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly, bringing you Transformers news and world domination plans from, well, around the world and specifically from my room. This is episode 181. We are recording live. It is February the 8th, 2019, and it is a little late into the evening. This week, we are talking about Takara stepping out with some plus releases, a few new Siege toys that got revealed that have tons of wagon. Toyworld has another movie figure on the way. And how much do you want a Nemesis Devastator? All that and more coming up after this. And now this is the part where it says cut to intro. So someone please cut to the intro, and then we'll cut back out of the intro to say, hey, oh yes, cut the intro.
Judo
cut
chop.
Right now.
Judo chop.
Intro.
Intro. Actually, no, that's a little bit like what's his face, Otis from Bumblebee. Never mind.
Otis.
Memo.
Nemo.
No, the little brother.
Otis, the little kid who was like,
boom, you'll never walk again.
Yeah. Yeah. How does it feel, Brad? You're never going to walk again.
Completely forgotten who that is.
You and
Otis.
The audience.
Otis. I got.
He's good friends with his mate Milo.
Yeah, and 7.5 of them died during the making of that film.
7.5? How did half of one die?
Well, 7 dogs and 1 cat.
A cat only lost 4.5 lives.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just really traumatized.
Anyway.
All right, hello and welcome to the show. I'm Jason. Joining me this week, we have Brad. Brad, this is your first podcast appearance of 2019.
Hey,
trumpets. Hello.
Yeah, coronation trumpets.
No, that's good. I thought you were actually making a Donald Trump reference, then I realized that you actually completed the word. It's good.
Oh. Well, I probably am a week or two late, so we're going to run track.
Excellent.
And coming to us from Launceston, Ash, how are you doing?
Exceptional. It's rained in the last couple of days, so Tasmania's slightly less on fire now, which is good.
Yeah. So look, if you are not in Australia and are unaware of news from Australia, the eastern seaboard of Australia is either on fire or underwater. And it's even happened to Sydney tonight. Like there was a massive storm went through Sydney. I had a fantastic view of it this evening. And managed to get some good photos of lightning even as well. So
it's great weather for ducks or fire retardant animals.
Yes. If you can float or put fire out, you are useful.
Mm-hmm. Exceptional. Top shelf.
Brad, how's the weather been there?
Extremely humid and sticky. It's weekend's good. It's going to be under 30. It's only getting down to about 13, 14 overnight. So tomorrow night I'm going camping because it's perfect swag weather beyond the river. But yeah, either extremely hot or extremely sticky and just your humidity. When storms come through and they go across, lightning goes off, starts some fires, and they keep on going and don't drop any rain whatsoever. So it's a bit of a mixed bag at the moment.
Are you just saying that basically the storm is just an asshole?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pretty much Australian weather has one intent, and that is to murder you in some way, whether it's going to drown you or burn you to a crisp. Either way, it'll happen.
Everything in Australia wants to kill you.
Yeah, even the weather.
I'm sure if you just sit there and focus for 5 minutes, you'll see a cloud that is the perfect shape of a middle finger pointing down at you.
Yeah, it's a bit like that scene from The Lion King, except instead of like the wisely father figure, it's literally just a big old bird.
Well, he was Darth Vader as well, so
there you go. So there you go. There's a relation there.
Guys, should we talk about some Transformers?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Wait, before we talk about Transformers, we should talk about bot shots. Actually, like, Brad, are we going to bring bot shots back soon? Because like we're missing this entire segment in the podcast that we usually talk about. And I gotta be honest, right? It's kind of weird cutting straight from banter to news. Like there needs to be something to ease us into it.
We can go back into a year ago today. We need to talk to Quinty because we need to work out what we're going to do for prizes. This is a big thing. We can do bot shots again and not have prizes. But if we want to have prizes, we need to work out what we're going to do.
You know, I had an absolutely incredible idea for bot shots. But then something got in the way of me doing it, and it was the birth of my daughter. So therefore, 6 months ago, I had a great idea for a bot shot, so maybe I'll actually do it now.
So going on the schedule by which new fathers move, like you should be getting around to it about now. Yeah,
right about now. Yeah. It'll be incredibly out of touch with today's meme culture. How about that? It'll be completely an old joke that nobody cares about anymore.
But is that actually like, would it have also been an old joke from 6 months ago anyway?
Probably. Knowing me, absolutely.
That means I would have gotten it too. I understood that reference.
Well, if we got this time to kill, do we want to tell a dad joke?
I thought we just did.
Oh, okay.
I'm a living dad joke.
I've got this weird, like, look, there's a little too much light there. I think
That's very
I've
dramatic.
got this weird thing, like I'm kind of in silhouette, and I don't really know why.
I didn't know we were doing spotlights.
Spotlight Pictures presents Jason.
Yeah, like I'll just have to apologize for my my video for a bit. That's fine. I'll work it out. I'll do something.
Looks fine here.
That's good. I like just looking at my thumbnail at the bottom of the screen. It's just like there's a white room and then there's just this black shape in the middle of it. So.
Fun of me.
All right,
I've just got bar lights, so you know.
Yeah. I could really do with going to a bar about now. Shall we talk about some Transformers, because a lot of them got announced this week.
Yeah.
And there's probably some stuff that we're going to enjoy.
The landscape of transforming robot men is now quite exciting. There's a long journey ahead of us. Yeah. Littered with figures.
There's a long journey ahead of us because, like, some of us don't even have Siege Wave 1 yet, but
no, that's going to come up. It's going to come up in a bit.
Shall we go into it?
Yeah, jump straight in, both feet.
We're gonna actually start with some studio series. I've left it on the wrong image, but there we go. This guy has been rumored for a while. It is the Optimus Prime that featured in the Bumblebee movie. Universal acclaim. Let's say, except for Brad. Brad didn't like it.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Universal acclaim.
The film or this?
This. What do you think?
It's a different version of Prime, and I'm quite happy with it.
Cool. Good. Universal acclaim.
I love it. I will say this. It's really annoying trying to talk to people about it because the name of the figure is really awkward. It's the Voyager Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime. You got to say Bumblebee before you say Optimus Prime. And at that point, you've already said Bumblebee, and people think you're talking about Bumblebee, but it's actually Optimus Prime.
They've tuned out halfway through the name of the toy.
Yeah, I'm just started calling him Bumblebee Prime, and that just conjures up other images. It's really hard.
That's the image of like the half Volkswagen with the camper van attached.
Exactly.
So look, we are talking about the new entry in the studio series, SS38 Voyager Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, or also better named perhaps as Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie.
Yes.
So this has been rumored for a while. It's now finally become official, and gosh, he looks good.
Do you know what I loved about the rumor
representation?
When the rumor came out and people saw that picture of like that discarded figure just sitting on the floor, like it was like a factory floor or something, people were like, I don't know if that's real.
Turns out, yep.
That it is real, if that like, or somebody went to a lot of effort to try and fake it. I'm glad that I've seen more images of it. The promotional images, particularly the one we're looking at here, made me think his legs were a little bit too weedy, but now I've actually seen the figure. The proportions are quite good. The thing I find interesting is he appears to have ball-jointed elbows.
I feel like his. I don't think they're a ball joint. I think he's got normal sort of like elbows that lift up, and I think he's also got them sort of like turning around kind of thing.
He's got a bicep swivel there by the looks of it.
Yeah. A lot of the figures have bicep swivels these days. Yeah. So I think that's what we're looking at. I think if you look at the side of his arm, there's a sort of a very distinct point where there's going to be a rod going through that for rotating. I think. It's very like, I mean, it's pretty common. But yeah, so look, yet another Optimus Prime figure for people to purchase, but this one does look almost like he just stepped off the screen, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's an exceptional figure. It's a very, very, very accurate figure to what the Bumblebee movie actually presented him as, because I mean, it's a very unique look.
Is it though? I feel like it's not unique. It's just evolved.
I mean, it's unique for what it is. It is a classic Prime with a modern take.
Yeah.
Which we don't have a lot of those.
Yeah, I think if anything over the last few years, this is probably more taking the Prime design, like flushing out more robot and less alt mode. Especially like in the waist, the hips, and the legs. Like you've got the truck wheels, of course, on his shins, but There's a lot less truck mode in this than what you'd normally get from a Combiner Wars or
Absolutely.
the Titan's Return.
This does look like what a Cybertronian alien that happens to turn into a vehicle might look like.
Yeah. This is the only Bumblebee one. Was there another one released earlier, or is this it?
Dropkick? Oh, do you mean like just Studio Series Bumblebee figures?
No, Prime itself.
No. Well, I mean,
there
was Prime figures released. They were not Studio Series. They were basically redecos of the Evasion sort of look Prime from from Age of Extinction. But no, this one's the first screen accurate one.
Yep.
Speaking of screen accurate, that alt mode is pretty much on point.
Oh yeah, that is. Well, we never actually see him in truck mode on Cybertron.
No, but
so this is Earth mode Prime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this. Oh, whoops, have I done that? Yeah.
There we go.
I don't think that's a particularly Cybertronian mode, really.
No, but I mean, like, it does sort of have the Greeblies that we saw in, I guess, the earlier scenes, particularly his lack of abs.
I need you to define Greeblies.
Greeblies, okay. Greeblies are random assortments of details, usually surface detail, added to make something more visually interesting, usually serving no purpose. So, for example, like if you look inside of his like stomach area, it's Greebly-tastic. It's just little things going all over the place.
So I feel like that's actually his robot mode that we've seen on Earth.
Yeah, it probably is, but I mean, like, it's just it's not what you'd expect from the usual Prime where he has his grill there.
Oh yeah. That's the thing, is that's sort of the part that is different about this. Is there's no grill there. There is one there. Clearly, it folds up and hides away somewhere for easy stowage. And yeah, no, you're probably right. It probably does go in the backpack, because the backpack is kind of the cool place to keep all of that stuff now, having seen how it works in Siege.
And if a backpack's done well, it's not a problem.
No, absolutely. He doesn't look like he's got too much of a backpack. I mean, look, that is not a thick alt mode.
No,
thick. He's also got a splash of yellow in his crotch. I just noticed that.
Does he? Oh yeah, he does too. I guess that's sort of a bit of a nod to his other incarnations as well.
Yes, he does have yellow around there, doesn't he?
Yeah, and then so you look at the robot mode. Like, apart from those flat windscreens, we've had War for Cybertron, that sort of Cybertronian looking Prime before, where that might be more tear shaped or more not square anyway.
Jumping out.
Yeah, and the wheels on his legs. Apart from that, there's not really a lot that's Earth mode on his. Well, maybe the smokestacks on his shoulders as well. But you could merge or hide them in an alien robot mode as well. So
I think it works well as, like, he is a robot that's transformed from an Earth truck mode. Like, it seems good. I like it.
Yep, and we got Bumblebee 2 coming, so we might actually see how he gets from Cybertron to Earth, maybe.
Maybe.
We'll hopefully. This is not the only studio figure series announced this week. There is also this dude, which come on, look at the old mode. Car mode of
fabled second incarnation of Dropkick, because we all know that Studio Series designers are apparently allergic to triple changes actually being triple changes.
Well,
I'm happy with this. I'm so happy with this.
Any triple changes in the Studio Series at all?
Not, but at the same time, when the alt mode looks this good, if they're going to nail it, they might as well nail it in a very defined way. So what they've got here is a Dropkick that looks exceptional in his alt mode. He takes on that amazing muscle car, sort of that matches the Shatter look as well. I love that it appears that he's got his giant gun cannon thing just hoisted on the back.
Yeah.
Like,
you would not want that to misfire at that point, right? Like,
no.
By yourself.
No, it definitely. Well, I mean, if you turn it around, perhaps it could be used for additional boost as you're driving, perhaps. But it's exceptional.
I want to ask a question. Have the Studio Series designers been holding out on us? Like, there have been some questionable releases in the last couple of waves, but these look great.
I think it depends on the designer.
Maybe.
We might be starting to identify that there are certain people on that team that just have a bit of extra passion for the projects.
Let's check out his vehicle mode as well. That's a really very sort of G1 car.
It is.
Vehicle robot mode there. The
good old fashioned headlight tits.
Yeah. I feel like his chest doesn't have the angle on the bonnet that they've often put. Like it really is a very sort of classic transformation. It doesn't look complicated at all.
No, it's definitely one of those cases. The interesting thing for me, I definitely have to point out, is that his shoulders very clearly have wheels in them.
Hmm.
But his forearms also have wheels. So we're going to be in this weird situation where, like, to line up the wheels for him, he just sort of does this, going backwards. Like, he's just sort of like pointing backwards from the front of him, and then the rest of the car forms around it. Or are one of those sets of wheels completely fake?
I think you might find that they're both both real wheels, because if you look behind his head, there's a massive hinge where like the roof of the car is stored behind him, and then he's just going to fold up and his legs will just tuck in.
It also looks like there may very well be a hinge at the back of the wrist, so it could be that they actually extend further out, therefore getting that kind of lower clearance between the front and the back wheels.
I think so, yeah.
I'm going to go the other way and say the wheels on his elbows are fake and go under the bonnet. But then there's no other wheels that could be the rear ones. So.
The wheels at the back, sort of behind his robot, but we don't really know.
Yeah.
Either way,
I would like
to transform him.
Yeah, I would like to see this side by side with that original one with the helicopter, because these legs look just as spindly. And we chatted briefly in the pre-show about how spindly that original dropkick was, and I reckon these legs aren't much better than that helicopter.
But I definitely know which one I'd rather have on display.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah,
but as far as character accuracy go, this one nails it a lot more than the helicopter one does.
Yeah, well, both these figures I'll be getting for their alt modes and not for their robot modes. Like, just that helicopter and that car look fantastic.
You know what's interesting about this? This is clearly a render, but they've actually. I actually wonder if they're going to put some metallic paint on this.
Yeah, I was just thinking then, like, the blue is made with a sheen that makes it look like it is metallic. Now, either the 3D render is lying to us and it's not actually going to be like that on the toy, or they are actually intending to have a metallic toy.
So if you look at Prime, right? Prime has a lot of flat colors. Like, they haven't dolled him up with any metallic shades or
a bit of gloss on the blue, maybe, but that's about it.
Yeah, but
it's compared to
that's not the same thing.
Dropkick is metallic. Prime is a little bit shiny. That's metallic. You can see across the thighs.
I'm gonna hold out hope that maybe there might actually be some metallic paint on this dude. We'll see.
Around the well, I don't mind.
Around the front of the car, like the front of that grill and those lights, if that's still that good silver they've been putting on figures, I reckon they'll look fantastic there.
I'd be excited. If not,
it looks like on the front of on his bicep there's a little bit of silver as well, possibly, unless it's the way it's colored.
Yeah. Could be the lighting, but I mean, I would like it. Yeah. No, there's
no lighting. It's a render.
Yeah,
but
it's still a lighting source.
Yeah, the gun's creating a shadow across his pec, so
it is. That's all. See, that's also a detail that they don't usually put in, right? Like there is shade, but they don't usually cast a shadow on themselves.
Unbeknownst to us, currently at Takara headquarters, someone's getting fired for rendering too detailed a figure. People think it's metallic, Jim. Get out.
But even the Prime bot, there's little accents of silver on his legs and that, which again could be just the render, or if they sort of had those little accents on the figure itself, it might just bring out some of that detail that these figures have, especially when we get to some really big figures in a minute. It's just they need detail, not stickers.
In a Studio Series figure, this is the kind of quality that I like.
Yeah, I agree.
We might see hand images, and it could very well be garbage, but that's not the fun of this hobby.
So I'm pretty sure this guy is a deluxe, right? Not a Voyager.
Yes. Yeah. Prime is currently the only Voyager. However, there is a rumor that there will be a Blitzwing Voyager.
Hopefully, it's better than
rumor. Delicious rumor.
Well, that's it. You were talking before about just the engineering. Like, could you imagine this and that helicopter version having to merge to be a triple changer?
Nope. I reckon we'll eventually see a third party do something along those lines, because I don't think
that would be exceptional.
Do it, but I would like to see how they do it, because it's a very unique, interesting design. It's one of the things, like, a lot of people thought that the villains were bland in the Bumblebee movie, but as far as bot mode and how they actually looked and behaved as robots went, and their transformations, it was interesting. I liked it.
Yeah. Even if the QC is terrible, if they fall apart, whatever, if it's a solid free mode transformation between car, helicopter, and dropkick robot, like I'd nearly pay the money just to get it. It's just not transform it. I know.
You'd walk past it and think about it. You'd walk past it. You'd at least touch the wallet.
I would at least look at the back of the box. Yeah. It just occurred to me, of course, Dropkick's gun accessory is his turn humans to goo gun.
Yeah.
Goo gun.
I was looking at it going, it's weird. He's got a sonic blaster. I was like, oh wait, no, it's the human goo gun. Excellent.
And of course, one of the accessories is just got to be a little pool of liquid.
Yeah, there's your effects piece.
Yeah.
It comes with the doctor. It comes with the doctor as just a puddle of goo, and all the kids are so confused.
Yeah. It's like what was the guy's name? Monroe or whatever.
Dr. Monroe or something
Yeah,
like that.
and it's like, drop kick with Monroe, and it's just like, what's this piece of goo?
Did they repurpose Hot Rod's disc? What the pizza cutter?
No, it's like you know those all the little slime things that we used to get when we were kids, and the in like packaged up in the trash cans. Yeah, it's like they just give you a tiny piece of that in a resealable bag.
It's chewy.
Like, don't lose all of him. Don't lose parts of him. Have you guys seen the Orville?
A little bit.
The crew member that's just the bowl of goo, and like they detach part of him and attach him to the salad, and then someone has to go to sick bay and they have to pull him out.
Also, just for the sake of being accurate, it was Dr. Powell.
Monroe, like those two, they sound the same.
Dr. Powell, also known as Puddle Number 2. So
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah. And, look, only 2 humans liquefied in the course of making that movie. Like, they did pretty well.
That's actually what it said at the final credits. Only 2 humans liquefied in the making of this film.
Whether you're driving near or far, Powell makes a powerful car.
On that note, I think it's time we moved on to some new figures in the Siege line that were revealed this week.
Oh, now I was so happy to bring this news to people because it was one of those things that I was not ready for it at all. I mean, some of it I was like, yeah, there's like, we saw promotional images that suggested that Omega Supreme might be in there. The original Decepticon art showed a severed Omega Supreme head.
But we also didn't know that Omega Supreme was coming because they had shown parts of him at previous toy shows.
But the other figures that have been announced just like, and we've got a new cycle.
Hold on.
Just it's my mind.
Ash is excited, everyone.
Blowing my mind. I'm like Powell right now. I'm just
he's losing his mind. Are you like Powell or are you like Monroe? I've made up a character entirely from the movie. It's fictional. He's like my imaginary friend.
Dear, oh dear.
Okay, so look, some new War for Cybertron toys were announced this week at what was it? It was Chicago Toy Fair.
Yeah, Chicago Toy Fair was announced.
Sure, why not go? Let's just go with that. Chicago Toy Fair. Chicago managed to thaw itself out from Arctic temperatures long enough for Hasbro to wheel out some new Transformers. Who knew?
Well, they couldn't wheel them out. They just posted the prints of it.
The reason it took them so long to reveal them this week was that they actually had to thaw them. They actually brought them out with these massive ice cubes and just had someone stand there with a hand dryer.
Frozen hard drives.
Yeah. So we are looking at the new Titan class figure Omega Supreme, which doesn't the main thing that I think about when I look at this and I'm like, this is 2019's Titan figure. It means it's time for me to buy Predaking.
Have you seen Predaking anywhere?
Yeah. He's all over the place.
Much like
awesome.
$300.
Yeah. Considering that there's stores in Singapore that have dozens of Predakings just sitting on the shelf, he will eventually make his way onto online retailers and he will eventually drop.
Oh, totally. Look, I generally I don't like to buy the Titans at more than like 150 or so dollars. Like 150. I think I paid 180 for Fort Max, but I don't like to spend more than about 150 on them. And so like just waiting for that price to come down because you know it will.
Yep. I mean, the retail price for Omega Supreme at this point is $159 US. And that's with 99 cents, just to really round it off nicely. So he's a big boy. Obviously, he's Titan class. And it sort of comes down to, if you are a fan of Omega Supreme, this is him in an incarnation that obviously suits the Siege aesthetic, but it's still quintessentially him. Because he still turns into a rocket. He still turns into a weird sort of railway thing and a tank and a little base. He also comes with a little Micromaster that can hang out with him. I think its name is Countdown. And it can actually fit inside pretty much all of the different facets. It can sit in the rocket, it can sit in the tank, and I think it can hang out at the control center as well. So
can I just point out, like looking at the rocket mode, or rocket or base mode,
the shaft mode.
Countdown is not about to have a good time.
He's
going to round that corner.
Tank, yeah,
and he's just It's like if you thought Tiananmen Square was, never mind.
Mm.
And there is, so is this due to repaint of an existing Micromaster?
I am not aware of one that matches exactly how he looks. I mean, the Top Shot set kind of like he's not as square as they are, so could be a unique mold. Or because Hasbro and Takara love doing it, he could be a pre-tool.
Yeah. Well, or he's
something that uses his mold but is more iconic. So,
well, I mean, maybe he's just a later wave Micromaster.
True.
Yeah. True. So let's have a look at some of the other figures that were revealed. There are a couple of notable ones. We do have, so we knew Impactor was coming along, but look, Impactor has a body shape that has not really remained consistent throughout the years. This is a fairly new design for him, but he's maintained his color scheme, right? Like he's still got his purple and I'm going to say yellow, but it's kind of like goldish.
It looks like a golden yellow. Yeah, it's a bit of a honey yellow. I think as far as
I like that honey yellow,
they've kind of hit all the dot points. So it is quintessentially him. The one thing that is curious to me is the fact that they have made absolutely no effort to hide the fact that his legs are Hollow City.
Yeah, they're Hollow AF. But like that's not something that is surprising given the sort of the current aesthetics. Like Combiner Wars had this a lot.
Yeah.
We've seen some good efforts to hide this in some Siege figures, but just you can't do it all the time.
Yeah, sometimes it just happens. I mean, it's
Hollow happens.
Do we know if this is a new mold?
This is for Siege a new mold.
Yes. Okay.
Because this does not exist anywhere else. Something I really like as well is just if you notice his Autobot symbol on his chest, it actually appears to be sort of just a line work version of it. It's not a stamp. It's actually quite subtle, which is I like that. I like it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other figures that we've seen that have that. No.
Part of me wants to think that Hound had a similar thing, but it's something I like. Is that they've got a bit more subtle, which I think helps the figures. It means that like the actual bots, the bots features are what stand out. I also like that his harpoon hand has a peg on the side of it, so it can actually be taken out.
Are you saying someone can rip his hand off and use it as their own weapon?
Wield it like a gun. In fact, you could turn any other member of the Siege range into a Shanky man.
So basically, for when you want to use your Transformers to reenact scenes from Wentworth, you're good.
Or maybe you just want to demand your money back. It's fine. You can do it. So Impact.
Also, like as a fan of the UK comics, I like the fact that he's got his shoulder cannon as well.
I just like that he's going to be a shelf figure. He's not going to be a weird exclusive from some strange thing. He's not a third party. This is just Impactor on the shelf at your local toy store.
He's not a Titan Master. He's not anything like that. He's an actual character.
Just a guy, just part of the range, which is good. It's normalcy. It's great.
Yeah.
Tank mode. Now,
it looks skinny.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to topple over.
It looks skinny.
It's fine. I do think, I do see a little bit in the tank mode. I see a bit of Hasbro's designers just going, "Fuck you, MMC. This is how we do that tank." So like he's got Impactor's tank mode with the sort of bulldozer things and blades at the front, and like MMC can do one that costs them $100, but Hasbro's like, well, we can do this for 30.
Yep.
So, no, fine. Take everyone to school on it, but like, I like it. I don't. I've said many times that I don't really like the distressed paintwork on the Siege figures. It looks like in this case that most of that paintwork is actually going to be around the yellow parts, around the tank treads, which seems appropriate for a tank.
Yeah. Looking at this, I actually take design cues from, if you guys have ever seen the Legends scale Warpath figure, that was also a redeco of the Megatron figure, where sort of the legs explode and sort of wrap around and then the arms come together to hold the gun. I see a similar transformation here. It might not be exactly the same, but it's similar, but I have no problem with that because I love that transformation. I think it's great.
Let's have a look there. Like I kind of feel like the yellow parts at the front are just going to be his wrists turned around. Like that's mainly going to be his.
So, I mean, at the very top, looking at where the gun currently is held, that looks like his arms coming together and holding it side to side.
Yeah, Yeah, where that turret's plugged in, that's probably where his hook hand or his spur hand is.
But I say the best way to see is his gun. So his gun's got pegs on either side of it.
Yeah.
Hands come together, hold it like that. Arms
Yeah.
on one long thing. And then you see on the back of the legs, there's ribbing that looks like more tank treads. I reckon the legs actually fold out butterfly style, wrap around the bottom of it.
I think you're right about the tank tread, especially. I will just point out that that's clearly not hands holding both sides of the gun because he doesn't have one on his right hand. So that's why I think that it's the hands flipping in, and there's a peg hole on the inside.
Yeah.
Inside his wrist is a hidden hand. Impact has been hiding it the whole time.
That's handy work. Let's move on.
For the sake of puns, please.
Yes. Look, basically what happens is I make a joke and then we move on.
Yes.
So the other figure, which is setting tongues a wagon, is this dude Jetfire.
Skyfire.
Thrilling. Yes, Skyjet.
Skyjet Fire Dude.
Yes.
Awesome. That's his official name. He has his own new size class denomination. He is called a Commander class.
He's Commander class, which means, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have walked away from my desk for a second. He is a shocking, an incredible, an amazing 11 inches tall. He's a big, big boy.
That's that's.
I mean, just off the hand, that is taller than MP10. That is about as tall as Ultra Magnus. Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. That's how tall this boy is.
That raises the other question. Anyone got Phoenix?
He's not as tall as Phoenix. I don't think.
Okay.
Phoenix is very large.
Okay, all right.
Phoenix is, in a word, massive.
Yeah.
But still, Magnus is a big boy as well. And if he's as tall as Magnus, then that's a...
So like we're going to be talking a new price point for this as well, right?
Oh,
so
no.
it's kind of slipping in a new big figure above leader class. So we've got the current RRP of leader classes at $90 or $95. I think it might have gone to $95 recently. So I kind of feel like your commander is going to come in at $110, $120.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So at the moment, obviously, there are listings for pretty much all of these figures on Amazon. However, they are in US dollars. Siege Commander Jetfire is $79.99 US.
Mm-hmm. And I think most of the leaders are 65, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. So he is more expensive, but not drastically so, which is nice.
Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah.
Depending where you find it at retail.
Correct. Obviously, we could get stung with the Australian tax of, yes, he's going to cost this much, but it still means that obviously between Leader and Titan, that's where Commander sits.
Oh yeah, no, I think we knew that's where the Commander class sits because he is a big boy, and also it's worth noting that the leader figures in Siege thus far are basically Voyagers with add-on bits.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good point. I was going to say, but then Magnus, you're right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, no, he still is. Like, so is Shockwave.
But... Shockwave more so. Magnus at least wears his well. Shockwave looks like a Voyager pretending.
Couple of questions. Does this guy look like he has hands that open and shut?
This is what gets me so excited. The fact that his hands aren't molded in a way that looks like they're holding the gun. You can see there is a peg hole.
Yeah, there is.
But it looks like his fingers will move.
Yeah, it looks like a pin hinge in the knuckles.
Yep. For the longest times, I've argued that maybe leaders' hands should move, but if commanders are going to do it, at least that's fine. Because it's just at a certain size, club hands look lazy.
I'm gonna make a prediction.
The
hands don't move.
The thumb definitely doesn't. There's no thumb movement there.
No way. I reckon we can have like mitt hands where like just the fingers all move at the same.
So I actually don't see a pin for the fingers to move here either.
Okay.
I actually do.
I see surface detail, but I don't see a place for a pin.
All right. So do you think that one hand's molded for one accessory and one for the other, considering they're both different?
No. They've both got a peg hole inside the hand, and I reckon the hand doesn't move.
But they're both different size holes in their fist.
No.
Yes, sir. Look at that.
They're the same.
They do look like one slightly more open than the other.
You can see his index finger is at the end of the thumb on his left hand, and on his right hand, it is in fully closed fist.
No, it's not.
What?
So they're both an open hand, but the hand on the left hand is in shadow. You are looking into his fist.
His index finger is at the end of his thumb.
Yep.
Maybe we need a CSI.
And on and on this one, and on the right hand side, the index finger
It's
is
a
actually
fist.
touching the thumb. It's not a fist.
Okay. All right.
He's like this.
I'm getting my pencil and pad. We'll write this.
Let's have another bet. This has gone
well.
well.
While we're going, I reckon this is MP level, movie masterpiece level. I reckon this is going to be like 140, 150.
No.
Yeah.
We already know the US price. It's like $10 more.
Okay. All right.
Although that could look for all we know, that could translate to 3,000 Australian dollars.
Valid point, if somewhat depressing, but still valid.
Yeah.
But he looks like a brilliant Skyjet fire
dude.
He's now Skyjet fire dude.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah, no, officially. Look, guys, I'll call Hasbro in the morning and I'll let them know.
I'll call my uncle that works for Nintendo. But there are other pictures of him. Obviously, he's more upgraded.
We have to call FIFA as well, right?
Yes, exactly. And
anyone going to call Harmony Gold?
I think they might already know.
If not, they don't hear.
Every time Hasbro releases a figure that has fire in the name, like Harmony Gold's got alarm bells and klaxons that go off.
Well, especially when they go to call them out with one of the face accessories. Let's change the photo.
Yep.
Go the other photo.
Go to the next Jetfire.
Can I just point out two things? One, Brad has had such a good laugh that he's actually like done himself some damage. Two, this is the first time I've seen this photo.
Yep. So Jetfire comes with I think they're calling this combat armor, but it's like COMBAT armor. Like it's actually an acronym for something. So I hope that it's something ridiculous, like Cybertronian offensive murder bashing armor tactics or something stupid like that, because that's how they're listing it.
I don't know where it comes from though. Unless the chest inverts or something, it just.
It does look like
a lot of this is parts forming, because you can see when he's in his plane mode, it mounts on the back of him. But it says here, contains Sky Shield aerial armor and Sky Shield battle mask accessories. Use weapon and armor accessories to convert figure to COMBAT ready mode. Okay. Is this what COG was? Was COG a COMBAT figure that just bits attached to other people?
It's a COG figure.
The question I have though, are they going to have a cheeky reference to the 2007 film when it points out that the parts of Jetfire can fit on Optimus?
No, because that would be the 2009 film.
It was indeed. Well done.
Zing.
Right.
There, I brought it back.
But even to go off that, well, this is the big class where we've only got a little.
I want to point out two things.
Oh no, the Prime's voice.
It's about the hands again, Jason.
Hey?
It's better not be about the hands again.
It actually kind of is about the hands, right? Because if you look at the guy's hands here, you will notice that the index finger is touching the thumb.
Yes, I can see that.
You will also notice that it is not a closed fist.
There also appears to be a hollow section at the very height of the hands, like at the base of the fingers. That
I think these are the same things. Also, I think what we're actually looking at here is that I actually think that this is actually the base of the figure, and I think that the extra parts clip on around it. Because if you look at, say, and I'll be honest, it's a bit late at night for me. I was about to point at my screen. If you look around his right leg, look from his knee down towards his foot, right? And now I'm going to change the image back to the other one. Just try to memorize the detail at the front there. That is basically that with some extra parts clipped on.
Yep.
So I think really he's the main bot, and the extra armor clips on there. We haven't actually talked about his alt mode yet. It is a flying brick.
Yep.
Well, yeah, especially with all that armor on top of it.
It is quintessentially Jetfire.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, you can get upset with it, but it's accurate. He's a brick with wings and a cockpit.
I kind of don't mind, but the thing that I find I like less about this is that Jetfire originally sort of had 2 red boosters, and
this is one large mass.
Yeah, it's just like a big red brick. But also, do you know who did this first?
The brick has a windscreen.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. Although, like, it's basically horizontal. But do you know who did this first? It was actually Fans Toys. Fans Toys gave Phoenix a giant red brick on his back.
Yep. Keeping in mind,
I've
he's a
got
big boy.
Kronos.
He's a big brick.
I've got Kronos there, and he's got a big red brick on his back as well. So it
All
seems
right,
to be
so he doesn't have just the one, the two.
Boys.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
yeah. So it seems to be a common thing.
A common recurring theme for the Skyjet Fireman is the red brick.
Yeah.
All right.
But he is a space jet, so aerodynamics maybe not, and maybe the not having the big red boosters is the one thing that Harmony Gold wouldn't go after.
Do you know what? So looking at this and looking at the 6 guns that are mounted on top of the red brick, the guns and the stuff that just so weirdly, and this kind of goes back to some of the influences we've seen this age. The guns and stuff just sitting there, like, it really just sort of screams Star Blazers to me.
It reminds me a lot of the Perfect Effect add-ons for the Superion jets and that, just where it's got massive Gatling guns. Just why are you there?
Why not? I mean, but yeah. But also, like,
War for Cybertron. Sending guns for war.
That's true. Look, it's a valid point. Also, just like on that though, like, we do know that they've sort of had a bit of anime influence on some of the vehicle designs in Siege. So maybe there is a bit of influence there.
Perhaps. That's not all. There was also another deluxe that was announced.
Oh, look, there's a pretty boy.
Fresh from your G1 memories, it is Mirage.
It is, and you know what? Like, the amount of detail on this is quite appropriate for a deluxe, I feel.
And you got to keep in mind, he was the winner of the 2018 fan vote.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
Impact was.
Well, I think wasn't Impact of the runner-up?
Oh, maybe.
Either way, they were good enough to give us both. Obviously, he's deluxe.
That we were getting them anyway.
And so he comes.
Convenient that the fans voted for them.
The thing I like is that he's a very, very good-looking Formula One car. I mean, he's a great Mirage in his bot form, but like, he makes a really decent-looking Formula One car, considering that War for Cybertron is based before they went to Earth, and it's while they're still on Cybertron. So this is what a Cybertronian Formula One car looks like.
How is it that Hound has a Jeep mode as well?
He's got a blocky Humvee-looking Jeep mode, so at least it's like
Jeep.
Yeah, I have seen a Jeep, but he's too wide to be a Jeep. He looks like some weird creature between a Jeep and a Humvee.
I feel like it's the same thing as like all the jets having like having all the bots having Earth mode bits on their robot mode on Cybertron in the first episode. It's like, don't think about it, right? Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
The one thing I do like is that apparently Formula One cars in Cybertron have an exceptionally cool tire style.
Yeah, true. Yeah, look, it's well known that Cybertronian roads, you don't need a full grip.
No, apparently you just need this weird sort of cog pattern that's partially smooth as a baby's ass and then ribbed for her pleasure. That's how it works on Cybertron. But the thing I like is that his alt mode doesn't look like a bot pretending to be a car.
Except for whatever's under the back spoiler. If that's
obviously,
the arms or the shoulders.
Boosters, Brad. They must obviously be jet boosters.
Is there a rear shot?
No, there's also no underside shot, regrettably.
Well, that's fine.
Say anything up his side, or is it? No, it's just Cybertronian by the look of it.
What do you mean up his side? What?
So remember how Mirage had up the side of him was writing?
Oh, you mean Jazz?
No, Mirage has got. It's on his legs there.
Yeah, it's Cybertronian. So there you go.
Yeah.
Look, it's pretty obvious meant to be the G1 Formula One sponsor thing, just like sort of changed to Cybertronian.
Yeah, it's quite cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring some negativity.
The original series was like something octanes or something. It was like 28, 26?
26 was Mirage, I think.
Yeah, 26, and then it said like octane or something, or octane. It was the name of that. It was the name of that fake fuel company that keeps popping up in the Transformers film.
And
series.
Lego. Octane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New War for Cybertron toys revealed. Not sure what wave they're coming out in. Some of us don't even have Wave 1 yet.
Meanwhile, Tasmania has received a restock of Wave 1 and now has the leader figures on the shelf. What's going on?
Yeah, look, so I've seen that Toyworld stores across Victoria and not New South Wales have also restocked the figures as well. So, like,
Very
yeah,
strange.
and I think Hobbyco actually restocked during the week as well. If you
Also,
fancy paying more than
just
everyone
as an
else.
alert, apparently these figures are coming out between August and October in the US.
So September.
Yes, so a long time, long time.
Ah, that's like 6 months.
So we'll get these about Avatar 2 release date.
Yep. We'll start picking these up when the Fall of Cybertron release starts happening, and that's this wave's completely dust and forgotten about. So,
Oh, look, sometimes the waves come here quickly. I hope that, given that we've sort of seen a bit of a mishmash of some wave 1 and wave 2, that, like, we might be kept a little bit more in the loop for future waves. We'll see.
maybe. We can
All right.
only hope.
Let's move on. What else are we going to talk about? Oh my God, there's Masterpiece figures to talk about this week as well. In Takara's continuing quest to revisit past successes, they are releasing a plus version of Blue Streak. Now, unlike practically every other plus version where everyone's just looked at it and just going, oh, great, you've given it blue windows. This looks great.
I actually really like this. And that's weird because I have the original. So usually when I have the original something and a remake comes out, I sneer and I'm like, yeah, I don't need it.
I just sound like a Muppet while doing it.
But I do want this one because he does look great. I just like that they've simplified him. It's just a little simpler, a little cleaner, and they've just done a bit of proportion work and looks good. I like him.
Yeah. I find his paint job. So I'm just scrolling a bit up and down. His paint job looks a lot more matte than a normal Masterpiece car, and I think that really works, especially given that the pluses are meant to be the anime color versions, and so far the plus versions that we've seen they're not characters that have a dark color palette. So this is probably a sign of this is how Takara will handle the plus versions for darker cars.
I think MPs in general moving forward are very much cribbing this aesthetic. I mean, looking at MP44, and I think I mentioned earlier, dating back to sort of, I think the new re-release of Megatron moving forward, that's kind of that really toony aesthetic that they're sort of now playing into. Because, I mean, it makes these figures that are quintessentially Transformers. I mean, the other ones were transforming figures, but these are toon accurate now.
There's a couple of faces for this guy as well. That is quite new, isn't it? The replaceable face for this figure.
Yeah, trend that's starting to sort of happen more and more in Masterpiece ranges, and it tickles me pink because I love it. I love the idea of being able to swap a face every now and then. I mean, some people find them fiddly and silly, but I think you can completely revitalize a figure when you just give it a different face, because then it lends to different poses. And you can even just see here, I mean, obviously for the people listening at home, we have a very relaxed Blue Streak sitting there, legs akimbo, holding his gun. Got a nice little grin on his face. And then the second one is Blue Streak charging forward, gun literally held aloft above his head, with a face that can only be summed up as
So it looks like there's three faces, because there'll be one shipped on him that looks like a little bit earnest and stern, a big smile, and a bit of a grimace.
How did you describe it before, Brad? He looks like he's telling someone off.
No,
that seems accurate.
Was it Ironhide where we started getting these, or did Bumblebee have faces?
Bumblebee had faces, but I think it was mostly a case of you could either have Bumblebee or Goldbug.
Yeah.
So the big sort of new addition for the plus version of Blue Streak is the effects pieces, which we are seeing Hasbro bring out with Siege, but we've seen Takara attempt this with the sort of muzzle shot on MP44.
Comes out with a pew pew. So yeah, here we've got it looks like a weird sort of modular pew pew, because it appears to have a base and then a trail. So you can choose the strength of your blasts.
You could
large range
stop motion animation on it.
Probably could.
Yeah, like it does sort of look like it's intended to be sort of different stages of the same thing, and it looks like you said, it looks modular, but I actually think there's 3 bases to it, because like there's a picture here that's actually got the 2 muzzle blasts coming out of his shoulder cannons.
My question is, why do they separate then?
I don't know.
That's what I don't get at all. But yeah, you can choose the strength of your...
Maybe they can be used on other things if you can pull them apart like that. Maybe they can be inserted into one's gun.
when you look at them closely, the top two appear like the bases appear to sort of have this rib section that might be used for the shoulder launchers, whereas the bottom one appears to be actually a muzzle cap that goes over his gun.
Yeah.
So maybe they are different mounting bracket things for different pews, different sorts.
Yeah, well, I think you're right there. I think you get two. You get two of the same one for the shoulder cannons, and you get one for the gun.
Plus, it should match. It should match the other two brothers as well? Question mark.
Mm.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean it should be able to be used with them?
Yeah.
Yeah. That seems about right.
Valid point, and that's just also a really big question. Is obviously, if we're seeing a re-release of Blue Streak in this way, are we going to see a similar redux of people like Smokescreen, for example?
More to the point, we're going to see them release these effects paths separately.
Plus, this is a clear example too that they're holding off for a version 3 before they do a full remold.
Well, I mean, I never had a problem with the Nissan bots. I mean, these are. I mean, just these promotional images are making me want to play with mine again, even after I've felt like I'd gotten over the mold, and now I want to fool around with it again because apparently half of these poses are things I've never even tried before.
But
yeah,
really,
I feel like it's been a while since I've pulled out the Datsuns, right?
Yeah. But plus too, like this is the emphasis of Hisui era. We're getting real cars and we're doing the full G1 toy transformations into robots. Where now we're not going to change that transformation whatsoever. We're still going to have them doing the toy transformation, but we're going to go into cartoon accurate for the most part, or for very little of the robot mode apart from color.
No, that's kind of the plus release point, right? Like they're not going to remold them; they're just going to go back and actually re-release the figures in a cartoon accurate color scheme.
I mean, even though they're not completely changing the mold, they are still changing physical attributes of it, just simply because the head sculpt's different.
True. Yeah.
I mean,
There are
like that does a lot for a figure. Particularly, some figures might have a couple of niggly things that just, like, for example, like Lambor is a good example of just his face compared to everyone else is absolutely tiny.
Yeah.
But a Lambor updated head would probably revitalize it.
Well, so this is actually the first time that they have actually made like actual changes to the mold, in that the head design is different. Previously, it has just been a recolor.
It's been paint, and possibly an accessory, maybe.
All right, let's move on. We also have it's another third party Optimus Prime.
Samurai Prime.
We are looking at The Last Night Optimus Prime by Toyworld. Cool.
He's a big
They haven't released anything yet. We'll wait until they release some figures and see what the QC and transformation's like before we start ogling over new bots.
Being Toyworld, like I'm not expecting that it's going to be bad.
No. Well, Bulldogs was the first one, even though it's apparently number 2, where this is number 1, so technically this should come out first.
Completely. Sorry, when's this guy coming out? Is it reasonably soonish, or like right around the corner? Or
not sure. If we close the image,
the
story
there we go. The figure is expected for release in April of 2019. So I mean, it looks like there are 2 images there. One of them appears to have him next to someone else if only sort of see the figure, so you can get an idea of it there. But there you go. So he is mere seconds from release, mere moments.
And as we've discussed,
in 2 months' time.
Yeah,
and as we've discussed with sort of unique toys, like just looking at this figure again, we got another another Prime here where there is very little truck kibble. There's no tires. There's nothing on this.
Very reminiscent of the film, though, is the fact that sort of the alt mode and the bot mode, they don't seem to coexist. Like you can't identify one from the other apart from the paint job.
Yeah, but these third-party engineers are going, right, there is no similarity between the two, but we're going to make one transform into the other. Unique Toys was certainly a good example of that, and here Toyworld seem to be doing the similar thing as well.
Very interesting to see how it all comes together. Funny because I've seen some of the third-party primes, when they're playing with movie figures, it sort of seems that their chest just explodes and they turn inside out, and somehow the truck was inside them all along.
The transformation is coming from inside the figure.
It's the truck that's on the inside that counts, Optimus Prime.
It always is.
You've got the touch.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I assume we're going to find out more about this, especially since it's due for release so soon.
Cool, but I mean, the promotional image you have open at the moment, just because they're trying to really sort of push the whole blue and red flame deco, it just makes him look like he's wearing a bikini top.
Oh yeah. You know,
So
Age of Extinction.
this one, right? Like I mean,
No,
that's
it's there. It's
just how
there.
it looks like.
He looks like he's wearing like a coconut bra, and the coconut bra's been painted blue and red.
Hello, and can I interest you in joining the Autobots or my Macarenas?
Yeah. Now, when he first transforms in that desert scene in AOE, like he is wearing an inty bitty teeny weeny polka dot bikini.
red and blue flamey bikini.
Yeah,
It's obviously for the charity calendar. I thought I was going to be Mrs. July.
Pin-ups are the right of all sentient beings.
Excellent.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna see more of this coming soon.
We're going to see hand images very soon.
we should.
We have to. I mean, like there's their own figure there. So yeah. Let's have a bit of a look at this, which is a bit of a scary image to drop in.
Still had it open.
Yeah, no. So ever since the release of Bumblebee,
Bumblebee movie concept art.
yeah, there's just been troves of concept art, which I think speak to the fact that they've had so many different takes on it. Max has been saying for a long time that like there's obviously been a bit of a change in direction halfway through the production of the movie, and like I think
apparently each chapter of sort of the ongoing saga of concept art comes out of that. We sort of see it slowly turning into the film we saw.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that there's so many different takes on things really indicates that they really started production of Bumblebee with a bit of a clean slate, and then sort of brought it back towards the Bayverse and just evolved it slightly. But
they tried some different stuff.
They did. No idea what this is. This could well have been one of the Decepticons, but we are looking at something that looks scary AF, looks almost like a Terminator, which I think is probably why it was a little bit too far in the Terminator realm for me. Looks pretty evil.
Pretty sure if this is a Decepticon, the Decepticon's name is Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah. This does not look like concept art at all. This looks like a physical item. But it doesn't even look like CGI.
Well rendered.
You reckon?
Yeah, it's CGI.
Very creepy composite. Yeah. Well, I mean, like they've gone to a lot of effort. There's a lot going on with this. It's a man in a suit.
It almost is. Yeah.
It's a lot of effort to be cut. I can posit this theory that there is a Anchorman part 0.5, much like the original Anchorman, where there's another movie's worth of footage for Bumblebee out there that someone can make into a movie and be different.
Bumblebee Christmas Special: Return of Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah.
Look at some of the other features. It turns out that they are going to take a little bit of time to load.
So, I mean, the images themselves are very reminiscent of stuff from the films. I mean, the thing I like about this particular entry into the saga of Bumblebee concept art is that each one of these items is actually named quite clearly. I mean, for example, we're looking at that scene sort of where Charlie discovers that Bumblebee is discarded in sort of the scrapyard. And it's hitting all the cues from the film. We've got the row of boats. We've got the tarpaulin covering over him. We've also got Charlie's incredibly cool bike. You know, the pedal treadly that your local postie just doesn't want to talk about. But
another thing about this shot though, like this shot actually it's a broader shot than we actually got in the film. Like in the film, it was just sort of more up against a wall of junk, whereas this actually sort of runs off the horizon.
This looks like the actual junkyard is expansive.
Do you know what? This actually reminds me more of the junkyard from Age of Extinction.
Yes,
and that brings up a very interesting point.
Was it last night? Yes, last night. But
yes, the last night when we seen this isn't racist, the black guy when we seen he had the Hawaiian shirt, and when we seen trails for that, we said it's very much like RID.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, because we saw some of the characters hanging out in the junkyard with
now here we are, 6 movies in, and 5 of the movies have had junkyards in them.
And not one junkie on.
Yes. Yeah. So this is probably the most consistent set piece from throughout the films.
Are you saying that the presence of a junkyard is actually like our Flying Dutchman?
Most possibly, yeah.
Mm.
But mainly when the scenes happen there, it's some of people's favourite aspects of the film. But anyway.
So I'm sure this is a typo, but this one is Bumblebee. Bumblebee. It's Blitzwing BS Bumblebee. I think that was meant to be versus.
Yeah.
Or maybe Blitzwing's just talking a load of crap.
Well, yeah, he kind of did.
Yeah.
BSing.
Yeah.
It's like you can see how like the spirit of the concept art made its way into the movie, especially with this one. But like, it's not meant to be a storyboard shot, right? Like it's meant to be an artist's impression of how that battle would look.
Yeah, this is a visualization. This is literally a mid-action shot of how they expect the throwdown to go down, and it looks like that. It's really quite cool.
Notably, Bumblebee there has his sort of Jeep.
Still in Jeep mode.
This one looks far more like what happened in the film, although sort of the over the mine shaft entrance is a bit weird. But
I feel like images like this are a little bit used to communicate to the visual effects department. Sort of, this is kind of when giant robots clash. This is the kind of stuff we expect. Like there's big clouds of dust being kicked up. There's like power lines sparking. It's sort of like this is, we want this kind of nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, that look. And that's pretty much what we expect to see there.
There's a good story being told here. Quite frankly, Bumblebee punching Blitzwing in the face.
Kind of it actually sort of reminds me of like it feels like it would be a modern version of all the storybook art that we used to get, the painted artwork for them.
Oh yeah, the beautiful digital paintings of stuff. Make me want. Also,
going to say it right now. If this was the next cartoon, I'd be happy. Just the way, like it's not a. Yes, it's detailed, but it seems like something could reproduce really easily to be animated.
It's true.
Now, this is interesting because what we're getting back here is these character designs that appeared in original sort of artwork, because you can see the name of Ranger was used in earlier pieces as well.
It's true. Yeah.
It's also something that come out of The Last Night. The Hot Rod was originally either Ranger or Sentinel before it became Hot Rod.
Yeah, so we still got these really interesting, like I think this is sort of what sort of slowly leaned into becoming Dropkick with the sort of like you can see sort of the jet mode and sort of some military aspects in there, but also the kind of interesting head design. But yeah, it looks like a very talented artist by the name of Shane Baxley doing some cool work.
Some of the original robot designs that we saw for Bumblebee did have some really unusual sort of limb placements and
even
and head designs. Yeah,
the bicep is the front of a car.
Yeah, it loses that original Transformers design, and instead of doing the old triple change where you're going to have parts mismatched and everything else, you've got sort of the car at the top and then the jet in the bottom. The colors seem to be that different, where you could see both modes in both separate areas of the body.
Tell you what this looks like. It looks like a toy designer's nightmare.
Yeah, yeah.
I was actually going to say, I feel like this might have been put in front of people at Hasbro, and they just went, "Fuck no,
I'll make a toy out of this."
I feel like the scale is a bit off though, because like if his bicep is meant to be half the bonnet of a car, like where's the rest of him go?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like there's no way that arm's going up inside that car.
Yeah.
Did anyone get the Last Night leader jet? What's the dragon called? Dragon Storm. Yeah, that was
very good name for a dragon.
Yeah, it was two Voyagers that combined into the leader.
Dragon and Storm.
Yeah.
I haven't got it.
What do you think, Ash Storm?
I don't know. Dragon Jason.
I wonder if you could do a triple changer, but sort of have sort of like the Twins ice cream truck, where you got one bot that does one thing and another bot that does one thing, and they both combine to be the robot.
Is that a triple changer? Or is it just like half a duocon?
Yeah, okay, all right.
Again, this is another one of those interesting designs that you can see there's aspects of car within it, but at the same time, it's just, there's so much going on.
It's a warbot.
The dude's arm is basically some kind of giant Neo-Tokyo like bow and arrow. It's like
kind of interesting. Yeah. Like, this looks really, really vicious, but then you look at the face and he looks sad.
Yeah. Well, he's got the jaws of life. He's there to save you, but
yeah. Well, is he though?
At least some previous sort of white design guy with the rotor blade looks a little. The original rotor blade guy looks like one half of the Duocon Redux of Battle Trap.
Yeah,
like
it does.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's about time we move on.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, speaking of Bumblebee, segues into what we're talking about next.
There's not really much visual to go on this, except there we go. There's a listing that says
People can see Japanese are already on top of it.
yeah. So there is a rumor that came out this week that claims that MP45 is actually going to be version 2 of Masterpiece Bumblebee. Takara obviously ready, willing, and able to cash in on the popularity of Bumblebee. As in they've already announced Hound. Hound doesn't have a number, but screw it, let's put this out first.
Yes, very. Yeah. We've seen the prototype for Hound. People have become excited for Hound. People have grown old and passed away waiting for more news regarding Hound, and yet they've gone, hey, here's a whole bunch of other stuff coming out first.
Yeah. Well, they have, because we've got MP18 plus, and now it's like, yeah, let's do 45 as Bumblebee. It'll really piss everyone off.
Somebody's going to bump a pallet at like Hasbro headquarters. It's going to fall over and hit another pallet, which is going to pull a tarp off something, and it's going to be a prototype of Hound, and then go, oh, we forgot about this.
Oh no.
Roundtable discussion. How do we feel about an updated Bumblebee?
Well, you discussed earlier about redoing the mold and redoing the transformation, and how that'd be exciting. Oh no, an earlier chat. Unless it is changed, I don't. Why is this not MP21 plus?
Because they already did Goldbug.
Yeah, see, for me, I like Masterpiece Bumblebee. I like him, but at the same time, I just can't get over how different he feels and looks to almost every other MP. And I mean in a quality sense.
Post 22.
Yes. So, I mean, for me, it's a case of if they can take this and improve a little bit, like there's just some parts of his anatomy I don't like. I mean, original Bumblebee, I've never liked his waist and the way that his legs are just these weird gangly ball joints. He doesn't look too accurate. He doesn't even seem like, as far as the toy accuracy goes, like where they sort of redesign it a little bit to make it a bit interesting. I just never felt they quite hit that mark. So
it's definitely a hybrid.
I would be very happy to see something that's like, just based off what they've shown recently. I feel that an updated Bumblebee is only going to be good. I mean, for people who don't want to find it, they're going to hate it, but you know,
if it's that same Bumblebee with more muted colors and without the paint issues on the bonnet,
it's not going to be
okay.
So
apparently it's exceptionally toon accurate. That's the big thing they're pushing, is that it's going to be less car accurate and more cartoon accurate.
That's true. So we are looking at a price of 13,000 yen. This is all rumor. So they're saying this would be September 2019. So MP44 is due in August, I believe. So he would like, if this is really going to happen, like 44 has been on the cards for a few months already. This would possibly be the shortest reveal to release of any Masterpiece figure.
Well, it's like you said, Jason, if they're trying to capitalize on people really liking Bumblebee right now.
It's true.
Unless it's a repo.
Hey, even if it just has a new head sculpt, I'm cool with it, because just give me a head sculpt with a cool thing.
True. The one thing I think is an interesting take out of this and also MP44 is that Takara is no longer shy of calling things new versions of stuff. It's like, this is version 2. And it's like, yep, sorry, like we did Bumblebee already, and like, yeah, we kind of fucked it.
You got to read it correctly. If you're going to read the press release, it says Masterpiece Series MP45 Bumblebee version 2.0 in Sept 2019. It include figure, weapon, and effect part. So Bumblebee version 2 also has the shooty pews. I'm very curious to meet this Bumblebee figure, because MP45 Bumblebee may very well be the sleeper hit of 2019.
Is he any relation to Bumblebee? I'm not sure.
Bumblebee,
yeah. I think that might be actually the title of the show. It might be Masterpiece Bumblebee. Thanks, Brad.
There we go. So we got yellow Bumblebee, we've got red Cliff Jumper, and then the third repaint is Bumblebee.
No. We've got yellow Cliff Jumper.
Yes.
And we have red Bobby Bumblebee. Remember?
Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we've done yellow, we've done red. Now we're going to do blue. Yeah. So 13,000 yen is not cheap. He's probably looking at I think we said that was going to be about $150, $170. Yeah. You're not that interested in the effect part, are you?
But that's the thing. I understand that he's supposed to be smaller, but I feel he's too much smaller. I think he should just be a head shorter than, say, Lambo.
So look, I did feel that MP21 is a bit small, and so I feel like the new one will probably end up being a little bit larger.
Is it going to include a exosuit or backpack? Probably not.
All we know at this point is that it include figure, weapon, and effect part.
We also don't know if this is even real.
Yeah.
Could be someone else entirely.
Yeah, it's very possible.
But I mean, based off what we've seen with the Blue Street release, I'm curious and cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, I mean, if it does pan out and it's a reality, I'm going to be buying a new Bumblebee in September. All right, let's move on. Knowing our luck, that'll probably be proven fake in a week or so when they announce Hound as MP45. But we'll see. They'll announce Hound as MP45, and people will be like, "But we thought it was Bumblebee," and they'll be like, "What?
No, you mean Bumblebee?
Bumblebee, totally Bumblebee." Yeah. MP45 will be the first masterpiece number to be assigned to characters. Let's move on. A little bit of third-party news, which
things that are rumors to things that are not rumors.
Yeah, look, this excites me. Mech Fans Toys doing a what are we saying? Doing a Legend Scale Rodimus Prime, in fact, because he's not Hot Rod, he's definitely Rodimus Prime. This is looking pretty good. Yeah,
he's the Hot Rod of Tobago.
The first Rodimus Prime we've seen since Carrie.
No, he's not.
Oh no, he's not.
Oh wait, no. You're right.
Third party, yeah.
Fans Toys Hoodlum is Hot Rod.
Correct.
Oh no, I thought of the Titans Return big evolution. Anyway, scratch that. This looks fantastic. I'd love to see it with color.
I'd love to see how it works. I'm looking at this alt mode. I'm looking at this bot mode, and there has to be parts for me.
Backpack.
Has to be.
Yeah, look, it's all in the backpack. Also, it's not that detailed anyway, but yeah.
Well, that's detailed enough.
Also, just like the original, the trailer is probably just a separate piece.
It is. Probably. Go to this next photo.
Yeah,
there's a separate.
Oh, so he's actually Rodimus and
Rodimus and Hot Rod.
So you got the car, just like the original figure.
Widow Matrix too.
God,
I'm pretty sure there's a base station photo. There it is.
Okay, yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. So I have no issue with this.
This just raises more questions about how it fits together, frankly.
So it's a tiny G1 Hot Rod Prime.
Pound.
Look, he's even got the Thor.
Is that a miniature Micromaster?
Oh, wow.
He has absolutely minuscule Target Master.
Sorry, not $40, $50.
Oh, that is absurd.
Can I just point out that his Target Master... Oh, no, I thought his Target Master was carrying a weapon, but no, it's just the bit on it, the gun on his back.
The Target Master has a Target Master that you have to transform with tweezers. This is absurd. So, yeah, he's got his Target Master. Keeping in mind, he is a Legends class figure. He is a little boy. And then he has a littler boy that is his gun.
This is smaller than the Titan Master or Headmaster figures. Probably half the size.
And just in case Hasbro or Takara is listening, their Target Master...
just hold on. Let me just check over on the control screen.
Call me.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yep, they are connected. They're listening. You are speaking directly to Hasbro or Takara.
Their Target Master has knee articulation, something that apparently you can't figure out.
Make sure you look right down the camera when you say this.
Knee articulation.
You can't figure out how knees bend. That thing, I'm afraid if I'm transforming that thing and I inhale too sharply, I'm going to swallow it. It is a choking hazard, and I'm a man in my 30s. But yeah.
Look, that looks great.
There he is, riding his lead sled.
Why don't we get that shot in the 86 movie? Defending.
Because he didn't have the at the end.
Yeah, deleting. That's all right. Skip.
All right, we'll delete that part. It's not going to be deleted.
But he was too busy being angry at Hot Rod for him to do his cool thing.
Can I just give a special call out to the picture that's doing the rounds this week with I'm pretty sure it's a clip from it's cropped out of the IDW Transformers the movie comic adaptation. It's got Optimus and Megatron fighting in the background and Rodimus or Hot Rod in the foreground. And someone's captured it. Oh no! I need to go and help Megatron.
Just for the sake of pointing it out, it's actually from the really cool. Hasbro did a range of comics based around what if scenarios.
Oh, so it's the one where Optimus killed Megatron.
Hot Rod didn't interfere in the fight, and Optimus won.
Yeah,
but the Photoshop is exceptional.
Yeah.
Oh no! I need to go help Megatron.
Oh dear. All right, look, we're about done with Mech Fans Toys. We have one more story to talk about, and it is the fact that there is yet another Devastator coming.
Have you seen the chart that somebody's made showing all the different colored Devastators?
I have not.
Devastate the rainbow. It's
really
absurd. They're at this point, they are literally running out of colors. That's it. They've even done transparent.
Who is doing this?
Toyworld.
Toyworld.
This is Constructor, but black and purple. So therefore, instead of Devastator, he is Nemestator.
Look, he's got a good color scheme. Black and purple always works well.
It does. I mean, let's be clear. I mean, our good buddy Thew always points out that the best Decepticons are usually black and purple.
That's correct.
Dare I raise the question, if he's Nemestator, shouldn't he be Autobot colours?
Ooh, valid point.
Well, not what about colors, but like
Bizarro
right.
World Devastator would be a good guy.
Yeah. So he'd be like Superion.
He'd be Helper
White. He'd be whites and reds.
How much was Toyworld's Devastator?
Expensive. Each one of the limbs was like $100-something.
About $120 each.
Yeah,
so like, let's say you could get it for like $650. Like, how many times have they done it in different colors now?
At least 6 times. They've got like yellow, they've got green, they've got transparent green, they've got plain transparent.
Has this Toyworld done anything else?
Toyworld, they've got a bunch of things going on, but this is just they just need to see the interesting thing is when it comes to their new colors, they don't actually sell the limbs as separate pieces. They sell these as kits. You buy. You don't buy Scrapper. You don't buy Mixmaster. You buy Purple and Black Devastator.
Yeah.
Which, if you're that person, go for it. Awesome. But they save on packaging costs. They save on shipping because they just go, look, here's the unit. Done. So there's a market. Yeah, I'm not part of that market, but there's a market.
Yeah. And that goes all the way back to the MP Bumblebee too. Like, if you're going to do these, well, fine. You're going to redo them. You've already paid for the mold engineering and everything else. All you're doing is put new color on them. Drop the price a little bit to encourage us to double up on this stuff. Like, I'd love a Nemesis Devastator, but not for $600. It's paid. The figure's paid for itself. If it was $450 or something, then
I reckon if they did that, they'd piss off the people who purchased the original figure at the higher price. Like,
but you got the completists. But you got the completists that want a green Devastator. They got no interest in this shit. This is just repaints and people.
Then like you're not going to be that interested in this anyway.
Figures drop in price organically anyway in the third-party land. Things don't cost the same years later.
Well, and as soon as another company comes out with a new Devastator, then the price of these ones are going to drop.
Wait. Sorry, actually, since this story was started, someone has announced 3 new Devastators.
Breaking news.
Neon Pink Devastator will come out for Breast Cancer Awareness Week.
Yep. And sorry, there's been a 4th one.
Yes. Entirely invisible Devastator is available now for the lower price of $400. Comes in a box. You can't actually see him.
Is the Emperor's new Devastator.
Yeah, only cool people can see him. I can see him. I can see 4 of him.
And sorry, since that also came out, there has been I believe it's a Finding Dory Devastator.
Yep.
That one seems to be available on Taobao. Not sure. Might not be legit. We'll see.
Also Sir Toys.
Don't forget that there is also the current endgame Devastator that has 3 of the bots missing.
Ooh, too soon.
Long haul, I don't feel very good.
It's too soon. It's too soon. Oh dear. Which was so in that set, like, who's Thor?
Whoever's got the biggest hammer.
Bone
Isn't that Ultra Magnus?
Well, yeah.
Fair enough. I think we're done. I think we've roundly mocked the third-party release schedule of Devastators,
And everything else.
yes. Let's bring it home, shall we? It is time to talk about some new acquisitions.
I would like to go last, if I may.
You may, Brad. Would you like to go first?
That means I'm going first.
Yes. I'm gonna lock the camera on yourself, and let's.
First of all, I'd like to bring up the art from our new acquisition, which is Winston Churchill's childhood home being bombed and devastated. Which great work, Michael Bay. Thank you. Oh, he's up here. Here he is. I'd like to find him. The bot in question that goes with said set, World War II Bumblebee. Now, oh, camera's up there. Hi.
Were you showing it to the screen?
I was.
Okay.
Not. The one good thing I love about this is it comes with the 2B accessories. It didn't come with the regular Camaro version, which is his 6-gun launcher and his Omega Axe. Unfortunately, neither of which are coloured. The gun is all silvery brown, so again, no painted detail.
I'd say the echo on the eyes is incredibly vibrant. I can see that.
It's like, hello.
Baby blue.
Yeah, it is.
Comes off slightly creepy when you've got a Bumblebee in olive drab.
He just lost the back of his calf.
So is he actually like the same? Is he a retool of an existing Bumblebee, or is he a new mold?
There's some new pieces here. Some of the waist looks very similar. I haven't compared it to what's come before, really. Especially when you got this massive backpack, which is the entire top of that World War II car.
Lord, I did not realize it was quite that bad.
Plus, like the back of the calves, like look at that. That's his calf there, and then that opens. Leg comes down. That folds up, and then that's the whole front of the car.
While you're showing this figure off, we're basically cutting to Ash reacting
shots.
And as the back end of this Bumblebee, and now I wish I never had. There's so much,
and that just fell off his other calf. It's the front there. Like
this might be the junkiest trunk I've ever seen.
Between this sideswipe and barricade, I thought I'll go for the B, just because it's the B. But
is it the bee's knees? Or
it's got some
bee's knees a problem.
The knees are alright, but it's got there's some nice detail on the chest there with some silver and everything else. But I'm just the figures. You're paying more and more for this shit. And
thus, that Bumblebee has not learned to fly. A lot of people say the alt mode looks a little bit like a green brick with a gun.
Yeah, I'm holding out for the Toyworld ones that sort of at least have that World War II Volkswagen.
He wasn't that movie, was he?
No.
Yeah. No, it's
It was not a gun installation.
No, it's a complete made-up alt mode for the figure, and it's just, yeah,
a little low effort. And the thing is, Brad, you're not the first person, even just in this last week, who's expressed dissatisfaction with that figure.
Mm. But that's the thing; it looks fantastic until you turn it sideways or back on, where you got all those extra pieces that just go on the back, and it's sort of one thing. Yes, it's not a sleek car mode that can hide some of those panels like you would with the Camaro or Barricade or whatever else, where you got that big armored car, so you got the big armored pieces that just become backpack. But it's just a shame. And I never brought up when we're talking about Omega Supreme. Like, there's nothing new here. RID's just gone on clearance, and yeah, there was like four new bots at the store that you looked at them. I've already got Sideswipe. I've got no issue with the Original Fallen Sideswipe and the Dark the Moon one, so I've kept them. I'm not going to get the Studio Series. Same with Barricade, so I'm not going to be buying new figures from the Studio Series line when I've got the originals and I'm quite happy with them.
Nothing wrong with that.
I just wanted to get some Bumblebee figures for the new Bumblebee line, and the Bumblebee Volkswagen come and left, and that's the only Bumblebee figures that are here.
Yep.
So it happens. I'm not paying online because a lot of the stores won't pull figures out of the box to ship them to you for cheaper. So at the moment, unless it comes out at retail, Hasbro, then middle finger. I'm over Hasbro at the moment, big time.
So on the pulling figures out of the box to ship them cheaper, you will find that Robo Toy Base does it, but I don't know anyone else who does.
Yeah, are they local?
No, it's Robo Toy Base is operated by Tony Chi. Chi Mung Mung. He used to be Chi Mung Mung.
Oh, okay. Click.
Also, I think he's actually in our group.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Speaking of considering, this is actually where I acquired my acquisitions from this week. Very, very pleasantly fast shipping as well. I placed this order on the 30th of January, and figures arrived this week.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Midway through last week, and figures arrived early this week. I'm going to start with the small guy first. This is I'm not sure which company made this. The Dark Raiden, little Nemesis Prime, which he's really good. He's got lots of articulation. Also, like, he kind of does the ab crunch in a bit of a cheating way.
He has an ab hinge.
He has the ab hinge. It's actually the latest. It's the latest trend in fitness, right? Is the ab hinge, but it also means that you can actually do he can sit down.
My God, I've never. Yeah,
wow.
You can actually make your Prime sit down.
I don't hate it. I think that's actually really.
I don't hate it at all. Like, he's a really solid figure.
You accordion him out just to demonstrate how it works, and he gates like an inch taller.
Yeah. Like he's head and shoulders above the rest.
You can imagine like Optimus Prime's like, oh, did you get something off that top shelf?
go Gadget Optimus.
Like all the other G1 Autobots, like, I didn't know he could do that.
Go Gadget App Crunch.
For my next trick, but I need a volunteer from the audience.
So look, he is a really, really nice. He's really solid. This figure has a lot of heft to it, considering its size. It's also quite cheap. This was, I think, $50 US.
How tall is he? Like, I'm seeing you hold in your hands, but like,
is he about a hand tall?
Nice. He's an interesting size.
He is quite an interesting size because like he's larger than a legend scale. Like, he's kind of he's sort of, I guess he's about a deluxe size. But like, he's built a lot better than a deluxe, and there's a lot more. I don't know if it's exactly die cast. It must be die cast given his weight, but yeah.
He's got a bit of to him, at least like in the right areas, which is good.
Yeah, that's right. There is a traditional Prime version as well. You can sort of see around the crotch there's sort of this large vertical part, and so it's actually why I didn't go for the traditional Prime, because on the G1 Prime, look, that's actually just a giant piece of blue, which is not really how Prime is meant to look. So I figured that the Nemesis colors disguise that a little bit better.
So yeah, like, it's not that big. That thing is like full on Robo crotch from like base of abdomen to end of Robo Willy. So
if you're going to do it, you may as well be a bad guy about it, right?
If you're going to do it, you might as well get it in black.
I've got a lot of robot junk in the trunk.
Never goes back. Second acquisition of the week, since we have been talking about Mech Fans toys, I saw this guy at TF Nation. Did you know that Mech Fans Toys does an Amiga Supreme, and he is just the cutest little thing? Like, he is only a little bit larger than that Optimus Prime, which was only a hand size itself. But
when you showed this picture in the club earlier, I actually thought it was a great deal smaller. But now seeing you hold it,
yeah, exactly.
See, like, this thing, and he's actually the same price, right? He's about $50 US.
Wow.
really interesting. The arm does just straight off come off. But yeah, that's
Robot punch.
There is still a ratchet in there, so it's still pretty good.
That's not the rocket punch move, obviously.
It's just the whole arm instead of the fist.
It's just more sort of like, oh my goodness, I'm surprised. I'm so surprised I dropped my arm.
These toys.
But yeah, no, like I saw this guy at TF Nation, and I've wanted to try and get him ever since. I looked around a bunch of sites, and Robo Toy Base was the only place that I found that actually had him in stock. And then I looked at some other things and found that they had Dark Raiden in stock. I'd seen Dark Raiden at a meetup in Melbourne. Adam Templeton had him at the meetup, and really enjoyed playing with it there. So I decided to buy him, and so yeah, I managed to pick off a couple of things. Sorry,
reasonable price.
Yeah, about 50 US each. Plus, like shipping was about sort of $20-30. So yeah.
I mean, do you actually have yourself a Legends scale collection? Does he? No. Is this the slow descent into it?
God, I hope not. Because I really hope not, because I don't want to go out and buy all the Magic Square ones. I don't want to go out and buy other Mech Fans toys. I just want to buy the figures that I want. I just liked it because
that's how it always starts. I'll just get the figures I want.
All the Dinobots here are one of us. Yep.
I've managed to avoid Dinobots most of the time. Like I have the Just the Toys Dinobots, and that's enough.
I think I get a cold cup of ice water at least once a day and splash it in my face just to be like, no Dinobots. They're at work and I'll just be like, I could get gutter.
I do have one more acquisition, but it's going to wait until next week because I haven't actually taken it out of the box.
I'm going to have to jump off camera for a second, so please.
Yeah, you're right. Live unboxing. I nearly prefer the look of that Omega Supreme than the Titan that we're getting.
I reckon the Titan looks great.
Oh, I reckon that little one looks better. It looks more G1.
If the Titan was if you got the little one but bigger, would you prefer it?
Yes. Upscale. Third party. Make a big one.
He's the third party.
Well, there are people out there literally taking some of these Legends figures and then just blowing them up. It's
Well, have you?
I'm okay with it.
I like how we just keep cutting back to Ash's empty chair whenever.
Yeah. Have you transformed it yet, Jason?
I have not.
What's box art? What's the alt mode? Has it got an actual base station mode?
Yeah, he's a base alt mode. He comes with tracks in the box, and I can show you, like, if you cut the camera back to me.
It's on you.
So, when you open that up and pull this out, so the head is his tank.
Yeah.
That tank treads come out there, and there you go. You got his little tank.
That's all G1. Even just the solid red chest on him. That big one's not doing that. It has to have a stupid clear cockpit. There. Look, it hasn't got sunglasses. Nothing. That looks better.
So like really quite a fan of this, especially for $50.
All right, gentlemen.
I need you to link me to where you got that from, because I want to get that
from Robo Toy Base.
Robo Boys base toy.
All right, gentlemen. I'm ready to
Ash.
show off my acquisition.
Ash has acquired a costume.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now working Ash back to this. Oh my god!
So let's take a moment to introduce you to my child. I mean, obviously, my wife's out of earshot, so I can actually introduce this as a child without talking about it. As of today, I finally have Gravity Builder, the oversized version from Jinbao, which they just call Builder, I think. That's all it is. Obviously, this lovely ensemble comes courtesy of the Baby Bjorn that I do actually hold my daughter in, because this guy is terrifying to carry around and to hold. And I jokingly said to my wife, I'm going to put it in the baby carrier. And then I did. So as you can see...
Can you just hold that pose for a minute there? Because, like, while you're doing that, I am just going to do a
screen cap.
Snap.
Please.
For those podcast listeners, Ash has come back on the screen with Gravity Builder in a baby harness on his chest.
Which actually makes him just about as good as Power of the Primes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, generally, this is the hands-free method that I use to actually show off this figure. I particularly love Generation Toys Gravity Builder. My only issue was that it was too small. So the fact that the oversized KO version is actually 30% bigger suits me down to the ground. And it also means that I can do the one thing I said I would never do, and that is have a range of bots in their alt modes or just in their regular modes, and then another display version.
Hello. Yes, that's
Mhm.
That's
The
what
one
it's
thing I
for.
said I would never do, but like these guys at their regular small scale in bot mode, love them. Fantastic. Generation
Yeah, they
Toy
are
did a
great.
great
Yeah.
thing. But when you want to combine it, again, I'm sort of subversively crotch thrusting, and I don't mean to, but when you combine, you want it to be large. Again, stop saying the word large or crotch thrusting, Ash.
Can
I'm
you just hold
sorry.
on to that pose for us as well? Right, just about there. Wait for it. Go and right. Hold that and this is excellent listening. But there we go. Right.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason, for doing awful things to me. So, yeah, this was only just put together today. For the longest time, I have not been able to actually get a gravity builder. So the fact that I've managed to get this through a mixture of Joel from Robo Toys and Savior Toys actually managed to get me all sorted. So, you know, it's a
He's got big baby hands.
big thumbs up from me.
Wow.
That's great. Look, look. I will just point out, small production note. If you look in the podcast chat, you will see what I have done.
And I will click just here to be worried about the fact that surprising.
Post up in the group. You're right.
That is going in the group. Yeah, that should actually. You can take that shot and attach it to the podcast, Brad.
There we go. I would just like to also share as a side note that before my wife did go to bed this evening, right before I did the podcast, I said, "Do you mind grabbing the baby carrier for me?" I thought it was asleep, so she was like, "Why?"
Did she? I was going to say, did she actually ask why?
She said, "Why?" And I just said, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah. You're not going on to see this.
Please don't watch the podcast, honey. I'm sorry.
Fantastic. Right, that is it. That is it for acquisitions, and pretty much that's it for the show. Now, Brad, you do have a little bit of TCA business. And
Yes,
it is Victoria.
Oh, and New South and South Australia. We've Supernova Melbourne is booked. Simon and Christopher have got table organised down there, so expect the usual extravaganza for Melbourne Supernova. Max has told me today he's also got Melbourne Adelaide Toy and Comic Festival, I think it is, booked, and also we've got Supernova Adelaide booked as well. So we've got some events coming up. Jason, you've got Comic Gong in May, which has been booked as well. I'm pretty sure I've let you know about that before now.
Look on Jason's face.
I'm just like, I hope I'm hearing May. We'll see.
Yeah. If not, we've got this table in the library again, so we can hopefully get to that. But yeah,
Comic Gong was very fun last year, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, we have a lot of fun at these little conventions.
So yeah, look, it is convention. Well, it is convention season in that like it's not January anymore, so it is time for us to start planning public appearances for the club. Many of these are paid for by membership fees, and so look, we are a collectors club. We are registered in Victoria, and we try to perform services for the collecting community in Australia. So you can sign up for membership from $5 for the financial year. And you can find information about that at transformerscca.com. Since I am into the spiel, I think it's time we bring to the end of the podcast. What do you reckon?
Before you get to that, briefly,
Brad is going off script.
I'm going off script. We are about to hit our 4th year in the podcast.
Yes, we are.
Those 170s just dragged. I'm glad we're at 180, 181.
Now we're at 181, and 10 weeks later, Brad's going to be like, "Oh God, those 180s dragged." Also, you weren't in half of them.
Well, going across Christmas and everything else, so it happened. But yeah, we're about to hit 4 years.
My cat is sitting in my lap, and my cat is. I've just looked down at him, and he's just like, "What is that black thing next to you?" I am about to.
And where Jason lost his bottom lip.
Yes.
Meow.
Can't he?
But no, we going into the 4th year, we don't know what we're going to do for the anniversary. Normally, we got Toy Fair news to talk about, and that's pretty much a celebration of why we're here. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
I need to Google this. The 4th anniversary material is. Hang on.
Cotton.
Is it cotton? Do you know this?
That's my guess.
Damn, I'm wearing a cotton shirt. I'm early.
It is. Oh, no, hang on. Oh,
Lava.
oh my god. So the fifth is wood.
Oh, knock on wood. If we get there.
Really? Yeah, okay. No, I don't think there's actually an official fourth. Oh, wait, no. Fruit and flowers.
Fruit and flowers.
And linen and silk. So I think you're very right with cotton, in fact, Ash.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Spoken like someone who's been married over 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah. No, lovely. There's listeners out there, so I want to see.
Please send us cotton.
Cotton.
It's obviously time for another T-shirt drive.
That just brings into the whole cotton on. Get your G1 reissue bots. Complete circular, like a carousel, around circular. Jason, send us out, please.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're done? Are you sure?
Yeah,
let's
do it.
You know, like
I'm just reclining here with a gravity builder strapped to my chest.
You actually look really uncomfortable.
It's not terrible. It's just not great.
Your back is got to be killing you.
I can hear footsteps.
No. His back's fine because it's the oversized KO. It's light. Is it light?
He
Honey,
still
are
has
you
Devastator strapped to his chest.
All right, that is it. Let's go. Thank you for listening, everyone. If you are watching along with the live record, thank you for checking us out. Thank you for checking out my cat's tail as it flies across the camera. Wait, see, here he is. We have already done the TCCA upsell spiel, so we're not gonna worry about that. But you can find out more about these stories and more in the show notes attached to the episode or at the Transformers Weekly Facebook page and the Podbean site, which is transformersweekly.podbean.com. Find us on Facebook at Australian Transformers Weekly, and if you want to come and talk to us, we are all very talkative in Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook. That is all for us, and we'll be back with Transformers news, views, opinions, and feel opinions next week.
Lovely.
All the news that's worth newsing.
Yeah, I like to news all the time.
Tune in next week when I try and find some way to top this ridiculous gimmick.
Jinbao Oversized Predaking. You have your mission.
Yep, and I'll just have to duct tape it to my head or give it a piggyback ride for the entire thing.
You have one hand on top of the other.